You have arrived at your destination.
That's right, Wildlings. You have arrived at your destination. You wanted the best? Well, you got the best. The hottest podcast in Louisville, Kentucky, the Sean vs. Wild podcast. And of course, I'm your host, the man, the myth, the Sean Thriller Smith, the guy putting rad back into talk radio. And of course, it is time to rock and roll all night and podcast every Tuesday. And on the show today, guys, you know how much I love to bring you brand new music, awesome new bands to check out. I like to do it locally here in Louisville, support my hometown boys, but nationally, internationally. So today, put your pin in Lexington, Kentucky. I've got Lexington, Kentucky's Artica right here on the show with me today. And Artica is going to be talking all about their band, all about their brand new release that comes out this Friday, March 16th, 3/16. Oh, hell yeah. It's called Color Restored, and we're going to be checking out Cloak and Claw, the newest single off of Color Restored here later on in the show. We're also going to be talking a lot about their brand new album release show. That's going to be at Diamonds venue Friday, March 16th, and it is absolutely stacked lineup. It's a who's who of Sean vs. Wild alumni, because we got Summer Youth, we've got Light Treasons, we've got Floods, and we've got Artica, and also Gallifrey Falls will be there as well. So definitely go check out all the awesome bands that you love from the show. Check me out. I'll be there, so come hang out with me. We'll have some drinks and stuff. I'll be passing out flyers and shamelessly promoting the product. Y'all know me. No shame in that game. But so we had an excellent conversation. This is the first time I actually got to meet a lot of the members of the band and have a sit-down conversation face-to-face. So had a lot of fun today. I think you're going to have a lot of fun on the podcast as well. Also, guys, I'm just going to keep it short. This week, got a lot of cool stuff in the works for you here in the next few weeks, so I know you'll be staying tuned. You guys are so loyal, and I thank you so much for that. And speaking of loyalty, got to thank my loyal sponsors, Audible. Audible, you guys know them, an Amazon company. And because you listen to the Sean vs. Wild podcast, they're going to give you a free 30-day trial of Audible. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/Sean vs. Wild, SEANVSWILD, audibletrial.com/Sean vs. Wild. Sign up for your free 30 days. When you do, you're going to get a free audiobook on the house, and they got over 180,000 books for you to choose from. And then when you do that, they're going to kick some money back to me, throw it in my PayPal account, and I'll be able to pay the light bill, hopefully, this month. Keep the lights on here at the Smithsonian. Also, got to give it up to my number one, my old school sponsor, OG Audiophile Inc. Shane's been printing all my merch for years. He's going to be able to print your merchandise as well. So if you're in a band or you have a podcast or a business or an idea and you want that shit on a shirt, he's going to be able to get it taken care of for you, and he's going to give you the best deal in town, no matter what town you live in, and he's going to ship to all 50 nifty United States. So check out Audiophile Inc., and you can check that at audiofileinc.com, AUDIOPHILEINK.com. Talk to Shane. Tell him the Wild Man sent you. Also, as always, big thanks to Joe Brock for booping the dials each and every week. Booped the dials on this episode, booped the dials on last week's episode, and he'll be booping for many weeks to come, hopefully. Joe, I thank you so much. Cannot do the show without you, brother. You are an integral cog in the wheel of the Sean vs. Wild machine. Also, and speaking of integral cogs, guys, I got to give you a big shout out. Thank you so much for tuning in each and every week, listening. If you like what you hear, of course, it's important. Please tell your friends about it. Everybody loves podcasts, so feel free to like it, share it, subscribe. I got a YouTube channel. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher, wherever you like to get podcasts. And word of mouth, of course, is key, man. With Facebook, it's one of those things. I can post it to Facebook. You may never see it, even though I might post it, several times a day, every day. Really word of mouth and just showing somebody, telling somebody about it is awesome. So I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate everything that you guys do. And that's going to be it for me, guys. Hope you guys have an excellent rest of the week. I will see you on Friday at Diamonds. And until then, Let's get wild. You know, the average person may only have 1 or 2 Goosebump books, but I have over 50 Goosebump books. I like that you guys just didn't say anything on that.
We're seeing where this went.
Yeah, we were talking about how like I should use that as a pickup line to meet new people or something.
At bars.
Yes, I have over 50 Goosebump books. That's perfect.
It's way more than the average person.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got like 3.
yeah.
It's better than me.
That's
I
what
have
I'm saying.
0, so you're doing really good.
I'm just nailing it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm here in the studio with Artica, and I'm looking face to face at a Reptar hat. You a big '90s Nickelodeon fan, bro?
I am. I mean, I kind of grew up on that, so
Dude,
I mean, that's what my childhood was built around.
Yeah,
All
dude.
the cartoons.
Are you a big Rugrats fan?
Yeah, I was. I mean, that was one of the only Nickelodeon shows that I was really into. I was more of like an Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog kid.
Ah, gotcha.
Cartoon Network.
What's your favorite Nicktoon? Everybody, tell me your favorite Nicktoon.
Codename Kids Next Door.
That was
Oh,
Cartoon Network, wasn't it?
what are you
Isn't that the
doing?
same
Yeah,
thing?
you
no,
definitely
that's Cartoon
That's
Network.
the same
struck out right off the bat,
Right
guys.
off the bat.
This isn't a good start.
Yeah.
Boing.
What about?
Rocco's was on Nickelodeon, wasn't that? Rocco's Modern Life?
Oh, you know it, bro.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, Rocco's was the shit.
Yeah, you guys give some more examples of Nickelodeon ones because apparently I don't know.
Sit down, Andrew.
Danny Phantom.
Oh.
Wasn't that?
See, I was all
Nope.
about the
Nope.
Angry Beavers.
Oh,
Angry
yeah.
Beavers was my jam.
Same.
And honestly, if you go back and watch it as an adult, I think it's the one that holds up the best because it's like still really funny
Yeah.
and not like scary weird. Like sometimes I watch Ren and Stimpy or Rocco, and I'm like,
Ugh.
this is
Why did I grow up on this?
Yeah.
Jesus.
why was this marketed towards children?
Yeah.
I remember-
Cat Dog.
Yeah, there
Is that Nickelodeon? Yeah, Cat Dog.
Are you naming your favorite, or are you just naming only the ones that come to your head?
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
Is that on Nick?
Oh yeah, you know.
Oh,
it.
yeah, shit. Then yeah, Fairly Odd Parents.
Yo,
Fair-
they're,
shit, yeah.
they're about to
Fucking
end
shit,
SpongeBob.
you took my thing.
Oh, you're going to say
I
Fairly
grew
Odd
up in an
Parents?
oppressive Christian household. I didn't see anything. I saw Fairly Odd Parents when I was like 14.
You should have just told your parents, like, it's actually called The Fairly Godparents.
Yeah.
And it's a very religious show.
It's all about worshiping Jesus
It's
in
wholesome.
the correct way.
Did you have to grow up watching Davy and Goliath and stuff like that?
You know what? I did see that shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
Bible
Veggie Tales, though.
Dude, I was
mean,
going to say it's just VeggieTales on loop.
yeah,
24/7.
I mean, I can't lie. I can't front with you. Like, I still fuck with Veggie Tales. I'm 23 and I still like it.
Well, I don't blame you. Quality product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, what's the best medium do you think would be for learning the Word of God? How about vegetables?
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know what?
A tomato and a cucumber.
You know what? Let's go ahead and print that.
Let's just have that shit playing at Mr. Gaddy's 24/7.
Dog, Gaddyland is on it.
Yeah, dude. 100% Gaddyland. I like to go to Gaddyland. I haven't went in a long time. The one that we have here is like super janky. It only has like 3 games.
I thought all of them were janky.
Wait, there's
Oh,
one
they
in,
all
in
are.
southern Indiana?
Oh, yes.
There's one? Oh,
yes.
shit.
It has like 3 games, but it has like a projection screen TV from roughly... Like a projector from
Yeah.
roughly the mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
So, like, the picture's, like, not that great.
Yeah.
But they always have
It's not the same
SpongeBob.
as Village 8, I'm sure.
Right. So, I watched Adventure Time last time I was there.
Yeah, yeah.
They
So
had that
good.
going.
Dude, that's so good. No, you got to go to the Outer Loop one for that. I'm there like every week.
Perfect, dude. Next time you go, you just give me
Yeah.
a call, bro.
Catch me there
Yeah, catch me at the Gaddyland, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be the one winning the tokens.
weekly.
Trying to hit up these bumper cars, son.
Yeah. What's up? They took that Star Wars game out though, so I'm mad.
Have you guys went to Rec Bar yet?
Yes.
He has, yeah.
Man, I can not say anything more, any more better things about that place. That didn't make any
It's
sense.
just dope.
It was just an awesome place. I loved it. The food is great. The drinks are great. This isn't the Rec Bar podcast, guys. This is the Sean versus Wild podcast. I'll have you know.
Not
Friendly
sponsored.
reminder.
Yeah, friendly reminder. I'll get to the introduction here in a second. Don't rush me. But Rec Bar is super awesome, and I was there a couple weeks ago, and I just had like a pocket full of coins, and I just held it out, and I was like looking at my friend, and I said, "Oh, please, just call me JRR Tokens."
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Nailed it.
Oh man.
But yeah, Rec Bar. It's like Gaddyland, but
Yeah.
for adults.
Yeah.
But way better than Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, I agree.
I've never been to Dave and Buster's.
You don't
Me
want
either.
to.
That's like a Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Dude, I love
True.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
I
what's
still
the problem
go
Chuck E.
with
Cheese
that?
was great.
Well, it
When I was
was
a kid.
great. Yes,
Yeah,
but
that's
now
fair.
that we're
I still go
of
to Chuck E.
age.
Cheese.
You might want to go somewhere. You know, Chuck E. Cheese does sell beer, though, right?
What?
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's to help the parents get through the rough
Yeah.
times, man.
Yes. I couldn't believe that, but I have a good friend, Kevin. Shout out, Kevin. Has a couple kids, and we had a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese.
Dude,
and
Kevin from Summer Youth.
Kevin from Summer Youth.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
And went there for one of his kids' birthday parties, and sure enough, they sell beer at Chuck E. Cheese.
Damn.
Solid.
Dude, I'm having my birthday party next month. It's a month from today.
You
It's
don't
gonna be
drink.
Chuck E. Cheese.
You don't drink beers. You
You're right.
drink
Yeah, you
like
don't.
hard sodas and wine coolers.
Not
Maybe
your
they'll have-
father's root beer.
Maybe they'll have some Bacardi Raz there for you, bro.
That's too much. That's
All
too
I know
hard.
is this ball pit's about to get fucked up. So.
He can't even drink like Moscatos or Zinfandels.
Right.
We gotta up your game and like ice you or something like that.
Yeah.
At my birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese.
Like, I'm going to be balls deep in fun. It's just you in the ball pit.
yeah.
Perfect. Well, guys, like I said, this isn't just like a video game 90s Chuck E. Cheese podcast. This is the Sean versus Wild podcast. And I am joined today by Artica, coming to you by way of Lexington, Kentucky. And you guys got here bright and early. It is pretty darn early for me
Yeah.
in this podcast, and I'm excited that we were able to get everything taken care of. But I am joined here in the studio by Andrew, Luke, Garion, and Brad. And guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. How are you?
Doing good.
Dead
Yeah.
inside.
I've had like 4 hours of sleep. I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm not excited about the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's great is not only did you probably get a shit amount of sleep, but also you had daylight savings time to deal with. So
Yep.
you guys, I've never met a time traveler before, but I think you guys come pretty close. So last night you're playing in Nashville, right? And
Yeah.
you're getting home at what you think might be 2, 3 in the morning.
Yep.
But by the time you cross all the time zones and with daylight,
Daylight
savings,
savings.
you're roughly 2 hours into the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, how does it feel?
It's like jet lag.
Yeah.
You could. I think we were actually time traveling on the way back because you could see the sparks flying, kind of like how it does in Back to the Future.
Oh my god.
like we were driving back last night, and at what was supposedly 2, but turned into 4.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever
And,
time it was.
Immediately turned right into 4
Yeah,
o'clock.
it was there. And then we were going, and there's like only one car out because it's a Sunday morning
'Cause
at-
it's
at
4
3.
a.m.
Yeah.
Now.
And we're driving, and there's one car behind us, and they're just like flashing their lights on it, like just their brights just going crazy. And we're like, what's going on? And so we slow down, and they pass us, and we're like waiting for him to like come up next to us to tell us what's going on. But he just speeds past us.
Yeah, that motherfucker just went.
Gets in
Yeah.
front of us and then just starts going crazy. Starts hitting his brakes, hitting his like flashing lights, like everything, turn signals.
Oh, it was
everything.
that
and
guy?
on.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that guy and I was like, I'm gonna tighten my seatbelt just a little bit.
I
to
actually
grab
put
onto
on my
something.
seatbelt. I was afraid we
So
were
we're
gonna get
like-
carjacked.
We're like, what's going on? And then so like by the time I catch up to him and like roll the window down, he's like, hey man, your trailer's sparking. Like there's like fire coming off of it.
Why
And
didn't he
we're like,
start with that?
I know, right?
I know.
He got up in front of us and did everything he possibly
I know.
could.
I was like, just slow down a second, dude. Like, talk to me. But we're like, oh yeah, okay, thanks. And we like look behind and we're like, no, there's nothing going on. One of the chains fell.
Right.
And then we look back and we're like, no, we don't. We're like, oh no, we gotta pull over.
Yeah, classic. That's what I was going to say. I was like, dude, if you had some sparks, it must just be like a chain.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't cross.
Yeah.
Like, always cross the chains.
We crossed it, but there was like a little bit extra hanging off,
Yeah.
and then I guess it pulled something else down, and it like just completely severed one of them from like just dragging on the ground. It just
Right.
seared it right off from driving for 3 hours.
Always cross the chains, but never cross the streams.
Yep.
Okay, that's ghost busting 101.
Yep.
Little helpful tip.
yeah,
from
but
you.
like, don't they like beat the big bad guy by crossing the streams?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think they do. Actually.
I'm pretty sure.
If you do-
Because I remember at the very end, I
remember
remember somebody screaming, "Cross the streams!"
In the new one?
No,
I was
no.
gonna say, 'cause
No,
No.
only the original.
Murray
I have
status,
not
man.
watched the new one. I will not.
I saw going back to Rec Bar. I saw they have a Ghostbusters machine there, and I just like looked at my friend. I was like, "Dude, I thought all the Ghostbusters were women. Oh, what's going on here?"
This is 2017 or
Yeah.
2018.
Right? Yeah. Don't worry, I make that mistake at work every day. Like, hey, 2017. No, it's actually a year later.
Yeah.
So speaking of time traveling, I don't even know what year it is.
Speaking of
Right.
time travel.
I've time traveled.
I'm lost.
I've time traveled back to 2017 where things were so much simpler.
I'm lost. This is the show. Lost.
Yeah. Oh, I was a big fan of Lost. Were you guys Lost fans?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Speaking of
seen
time
it.
traveling,
Speaking of time traveling.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Speaking of time traveling,
Wasn't the island not there the whole time or something?
who,
Wasn't that?
Yeah.
turns out it was
wasn't
just Bob Newhart's dream the entire
Right.
time. It was the fever dream. No, it was a great show. I would highly suggest you check it out. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, even though it's been off the air for, at this point, like
Somebody
7 or
already
8
spoiled
years.
the end for
Yeah,
me
man, it's kind of like Game of
forever
Thrones.
ago.
I'm sure you'd like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we do all the
definitely.
time. Oh, it's a great show. I think you'll like it. You should really watch it.
Do people always tell you to watch Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah,
Always.
That's like the
I've-
running joke with Game of Thrones. Is anytime anyone says something about it, and there's a Game of Thrones fan that's like, "Oh, you've never seen the show? You should really check it out. All the characters are good, but don't get attached." It's like the always response. I've
Yeah.
never seen Game of Thrones.
Oh,
and
okay,
it's
well,
like always.
judging by that witty comment, I would say that I don't need to watch it.
Right,
You've,
yeah.
You've said all that needs
Yeah.
to be said.
No, you should really watch it.
Just don't get attached.
Wait, am I the only person here that's
Wink.
actually watched Game of Thrones?
No, dude, it's a.
Oh,
seen
I'm
it.
caught up
okay.
on it.
It's a fantastic show. I've seen like the first 2 episodes. I was like, wow, this is awesome. But just like I can't play Skyrim and I can't play World of Warcraft.
What?
I can't.
You don't like fantasy epic settings,
No,
do
no,
you?
I love fantasy epic settings, but all
It's the
three of those
incest
things.
porn. You can't get behind it.
Again, not that.
Nah,
wrap my
that
head
totally is my kink.
please stop.
I would get too consumed by that. Like Skyrim, like I played like for 5 minutes. I was like, no, this is dangerous. Gotta not do it. It's like Game
I
of
see.
Thrones. Like I watched an episode and I was like, no, this is dangerous.
Oh,
This
come
is
on,
too
but
good.
Sean,
Yeah, I mean-
Sean Bean dies again.
It's like when things are so overly big, right? Like with Breath of the Wild, it's just so
Oh my
much being
God.
thrown at you that it's too much, and you got to take a step back.
Man, with Skyrim,
I dive head first.
like I got Skyrim for PS3, and then I got like a remastered Skyrim for PS4, and I'm not a huge Skyrim player, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna get into it. Everybody talks about it, and like this game could last me for hours. And the
Yeah.
thing is my problem is yeah, I'll play it for like 3 or 4 hours and literally accomplish nothing. And it's just like, imagine reading a book that never ends.
Yeah.
Like you don't have any feeling of accomplishment. Like you didn't get X amount of percentage further into the game. Like all you did was just fucking walk around and collect a few herbs.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's me
saying?
with Fallout 3.
Get lost. Yeah.
I couldn't get into Fallout.
See, I could get into that, just the setting, like the more sci-fi.
Oh, the dystopian kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cyberpunky.
Exactly.
The post-apocalyptic thing just doesn't appeal to me that much, at least in a video game setting.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
I'm
obviously
the same
never
way.
killed. You've obviously never killed everyone in Megaton. So
You're right. I
Oh, just set
haven't.
the bomb off.
I mean,
Can you do that? Is
yeah,
that a
you
thing?
can do that. You can do anything in Fallout 3, dog. Anything.
So maybe
Follow
next
your
time,
dreams.
give it a whirl.
Yeah.
See what it's like to murder innocent women and children in Fallout 3.
Killed them all.
Sounds like a good Saturday
Not
night.
just the men.
yeah.
The women and the children, too.
But yeah,
I hate sand.
guys, man, we're having a great time. Let's go ahead and chat about some music stuff, some music jams,
sure.
because you guys ultimately that's why you're here, because not only are you guys awesome, but you're also awesome musicians, dog. And nice.
Yeah.
Podcasts are so visual. I'm glad people at home.
Someone
are,
will hear some dissonant like slap on the knee.
Yeah, people are going to be able to really love that when they see it.
Fix it in post.
But yeah, so tell me about Artica. How did you guys get started? What's your deal? Give the listeners some background deets.
So, I guess it really started with Gary and two other guys in Lexington at the time of when we started it.
Yeah. So myself and two other guys kind of got together, and I was like in transition from another band, and kind of wanted to move to a more post-hardcore sound because I had been in like a metalcore band. And we started like working on stuff, and that's kind of where like the whole Lexington band came from, is because like it was us three, and then one of the other members reached out to Andrew, and then Andrew brought Luke, and then we had Artica, and it kind of just evolved from there. We've lost some people along the way, but we're getting more people back and a better team put together. So.
Well, hey, don't beat yourself up about that. That happens.
Oh yeah.
When I was in my band, Baby, yeah. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. We went through, like, I think everybody in Louisville played in our band at one
Right.
point. So that happens.
growing pains.
Yeah,
It's all about finding the right people.
Well, the big thing, yeah. And so it's one thing when you have a vision, but if you have to get 4 to 5 other people, 3, 4, 5 other people to share that vision
on the same page,
and
man.
also share that drive, and then also share the ambition. And
It's a lot.
It's not the easiest thing to do.
it's not.
So
Yeah.
you guys know that.
Yeah.
But so you guys decided. Now I love your guys' sound from the single that I heard, Cloak and Claw. To me, it has very much like a sound of a band, a reminiscent of a band that I would like when I was in high school and like later. Like it's got a sound of more mid 2000s to me. For some reason, that stuck out to me. And I love that. That's bands like that. It was my jam back in the day. So first time I heard it, I was like, man, this is great. It doesn't sound. You're saying like you played in metalcore bands before. There's so many.
I played in metalcore. He played in metalcore. Yeah.
And honestly, like not to take anything away from anybody, but like I love that genre. Certain people like stand out to me, and I love those bands. But then there's so many bands. There's like such an oversaturation.
Oh,
of
yeah.
It's
metalcore.
crazy flooded.
I think the genre of metalcore has just taken such a downturn over the past few years.
Dude, I want to coin it post metalcore because like everything after because it's like
like after like 2012ish or
it's like
something like
because
that.
people call stuff metalcore. I'm like, nah, dude, Killswitch Engage is like metalcore. Like that's
Right.
like the definitive metalcore.
Yeah.
And it's like
I always considered Killswitch Engage mall metal.
Yeah.
Like I put
Yeah.
and I love Killswitch, but I
Oh,
put
yeah.
them in the same category as like Avenged Sevenfold.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. There was definitely respectable. I've never personally been like an overly huge fan, but
Yeah.
they're definitely. I think that categorization is fair.
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, like there's just so much, especially even locally. So the fact that you kind of stepped out of the metalcore stuff and you're doing what you're doing now, like I think it's awesome. I think you guys stand out. You have a very unique sound, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you guys are playing with Light Treasons on this release.
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
It's gonna be dope.
Because
Yeah.
I feel kind of the same way about Light Treasons. I'm like, man, it's just a throwback to some things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I loved maybe 10 years ago. It's kind of that sound.
Definitely. We played with them before, and every time I get a show together in Louisville, they're like always one of the first bands I reach out to because they're so diverse with their sound, and it's so refreshing to play a show with them every time.
Yeah. And you guys have a jam-packed show that's coming
Yeah.
up this Friday. So at Diamonds. 316, guys.
316.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, right?
Yes. So Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, you guys will be releasing your brand new album. Tell me about your album.
Yeah, so it's by the name of Color Restored. Yeah.
By
Gotcha.
the name of.
It's
By the
by
name
the
of.
name of. I don't know
Your
the best way to
proper
say that.
Name of.
Yeah, it's an EP. It's 4 songs. We decided to send some feelers out and try to work with people that we like really wanted to work with. When we had this material written, we were like really happy with this material, and we were kind of looking around and we're like, yeah, let's get like a top 5 list of producers that we would like to work with. And so we like got this top 5 list, and we like narrowed it down, and we sent emails out to the top 5, and we had our number 1 as Matt Goldman down in Atlanta, who's worked with Under Oath and The
Right.
Devil Wears Prada and Anne Boleyn. And,
Chariot.
yeah, Anne
Right.
Boleyn is a huge influence of ours, and we're like, yeah, what if we worked with Matt Goldman? Like, this would be cool.
Just
We'll send an
crazy.
email, and he's like, he was like the first one to respond, and he like sent us his phone number and was like, I'd definitely like to talk to you guys about this.
Like give me a call.
Yeah, and so Gary called and talked to him for a few hours, and they were talking music back and forth, and he was like, yeah, let's get you guys down here like right now. And so we went down there and spent the whole week jamming out these 4 songs with him, and it was incredible. It was honestly like the best time that I've ever had recording and writing music and getting all that fulfilled.
Dude,
with
that's
him.
amazing. No, and I tell people things like this all the time. Like, it's so dumb. As like an old man giving a lot of people advice, but I'm like, dude, if you want something, like,
Yeah.
here's the key to life. If you want something, just ask for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because the worst thing that can happen is
Is a
you
no.
don't get it. But the best thing that can happen is you totally nailed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you just send an email out
Yeah.
to him, and he just responds back to you.
Yeah, it was just like super personal. Like it wasn't anything like copy and paste. We were because like with at least 2 of the other guys were like, hey, we like your stuff. We want to try to work with you, and we kind of use the same
You
email.
guys are pretty cool, but I'm not going to put the same amount of effort I did
Right.
into Matt Goldman's
Right.
email.
Right.
Yeah.
and so we sent Matt Goldman. We're like, hey man, like, love your portfolio. You're like a dream producer of ours. We have a sound that we think would sound great with your touch on it. Like, we would love to see what you could do with it. We sent him some of our older songs. I think we sent him a demo of
I
one
think
of
we
the,
did send him a
of
demo
like Cloak
or
and
something
Claw.
like
We
that.
sent him the demo of
Yeah.
it, and he emailed back like the next day kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
that was so mind blowing. It's like looking in like our inbox randomly because I didn't even know he had sent the email.
yeah.
Right.
I knew we had talked about it, and then I just like looked at my email and I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, Matt Coleman email us, and he like in the first email just sent his phone number. So we played a show at Spinelli's like a week later, and
Dude, should we call him?
yeah, no, we like emailed back and forth a little bit, and he was like, "Give me a call around this time." So like an hour before we played our set, like I like went out to my car and like called him, and I was like so nervous. I was like breathing deep. I was like, "How do I talk to this man
Right.
who has like 10, 20 years of experience recording
All of our
and, like,
favorite bands kind of thing.
I mean, and even like some gold and platinum like records, like all this other stuff. It's like how do you like talk to this guy and like propose this? But I think he was just like on his way to pick his kids up or something for like church. He was pretty chill. I think he yelled about Atlanta traffic at least once while we were on the phone.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'll put you in contact with my agent." And then like a week later, I was in a coffee shop, got a call from his agent. We talked for a little bit, and yeah, and then from then on, honestly, we didn't even talk to his agent anymore. He just interfaced with us directly.
Yeah.
Like, and it was really awesome. Like he was really personal and really invested in everything. So
The whole process, like,
Yeah.
like from start to finish, was just really passionate about it, and which is awesome. He's pretty much like my dad.
I would say we're probably on a father and son type
Yeah, it
of
was cool.
Easily.
bond after this one.
It was cool.
Dude, that is awesome. And it's always awesome, too, when you meet people that you respect and
Yeah.
you still respect them after you meet them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's not a bummer. Like you might meet somebody, like a celebrity, and they like, you know,
Yeah.
just kind of brush you off or something. And you're just like, man, I hate that guy forever now.
And you hear so many horror stories about producers and stuff. Like, like you hear so many guys that are like, yeah, we worked with him. He worked like 5 to 6 hour days with us, and he'd like eat while we were tracking and like didn't care. And
Yeah,
stuff
some
like
other
that.
guy did everything, and he was
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Took
it
our
was
money.
like with Matt, like he worked like at one point 15-hour days with us.
Yeah.
Was like working through the night, was just like knocking it all out, was making coffee with us, playing board games, like
staying up till like 5 a.m.
yeah, staying up till 5 a.m. playing board games with him, and it was just it was the ultimate experience. It was like exactly what we needed at the time. I think that was like the
Off
best thing we
topic, but
could've
what
done.
board games did you guys play?
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
What board games didn't we play?
They were so obscure, half of them.
Matt Goldman is a board game aficionado. He has
Apparently, like board games are huge in Atlanta. So like
Yeah.
we walk into their like dining room area where the kitchen and everything is, and
Yeah.
one wall's got like an arcade game on, and we were like, oh, that's cool. And then we turn around and there's just a wall of board games.
yeah, just huge. He had to have at least 200 board games, and I knew probably 5 of the board games. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
Monopoly sitting
Right.
around. Like it was. So we played Dominion. We
Oh, yeah.
played Power Grid.
Oh
is
god,
that, is that the
Power
one?
Grid.
We played
Yeah.
Lords of Waterdeep.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that was super cool.
I just remember at like 4 a.m. I'm falling asleep at the table, and you're sitting there like, oh, what am I gonna do? And I'm falling asleep, and Matt's like, come on, bud, wake up. Let's keep going.
It was insane because he rented the studio out for one of the because he was like, hey, we got to be done by midnight tonight. I was like, that's fine, we've been working since 10 a.m. So he was like, yeah, from midnight to 5 I have this like hip-hop artist coming in and renting out the studio, so I have to stay up until 5 to make sure that everything goes fine, and they got everything. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. He's like, so you guys want to play some board games? Everyone vacated but Luke and I. Everyone was gone, and we were like, yeah, dude, we'll play some board games, because we were like stoked on it. This is like the third night of playing games with him. We're like, yeah, man, we
yeah.
really want to do this. Let's keep it rolling. And then we played board games until 5 a.m. He's like, all right, you guys can go to bed now. We're like, all right, good night.
You're dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I told you like before we started rolling that like I just have a collection of things, and that's where the ill-fated Goosebumps joke
Yeah.
came from. That just fell flat. I mean, it was great the first time around, but
Oh yeah.
just fell super flat. But I have a group of friends, and we all play board games.
Oh, yes.
And so we just have like a collection. We play at one person's house, and so we have like probably 100 board games, just like on a huge wall, much like that.
Yes.
But yeah, Lords of Waterdeep. That's a great one. Like, I'm gonna give you 3 orange cubes and 2 purple and a white, and I'll take this mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. Did you play Ticket to
Incredible.
Ride?
Oh
That was one of my faves.
no! Did we? We
I'm
wanted
pretty
to.
sure. Oh wait,
It's a
is
train
that's-
game.
Yeah, that's where you got to like cut everybody off, right?
Yeah, you can cut people off, but basically you're building trains from one city to another city, and you have to link them.
play that.
Yeah,
And
we
I know-
totally did play that.
Yeah.
I tell so many people about that game, and I'm like, okay, here's the deal. You're going to put trains from one city to connect them into another. And they're like, that sounds not fun at all. And I'm like,
Like
I know.
40 minutes into it, you're like,
I'm like, I know. If I explain this to you, you will not want to play it. But trust me, it's great. And it's one of my favorite games. So
I liked Power Grid too.
I haven't played Power Grid.
That
Power
one was
Grid was
super
fun.
cool. I don't know if everyone else loved it as much as me, but I was like, we're making resources. This
Right.
is electricity. This is cool.
So that's kind of like Settlers of Catan or something like that, where
Yeah,
you
see,
got
so
all your
we-
resources.
Yeah, I was about
and
to
stuff.
say, get on some Sellers of
I've
Catan
never
type
played
shit.
Catan,
Yeah.
but
So
but
good.
I brought
Such
it
a
up
pain
to
in the ass.
I brought it up to Matt. I was like, "Yo, you got Settlers of Catan?" He's like, "Come on, man, we got to go better than that."
Yeah.
Damn.
The
okay.
Cones of Dunshire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys watch Parks and Rec?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
You know, I heard that the people that, and I've said this on the podcast before too, but the company that made Settlers of Catan is actually making a Cones of Dunshire
Really?
game.
Oh my god.
That'd be
So,
incredible.
If they don't get the guy, I don't know the actor's name because I don't know actor names, but if they don't get Ben to actually like
Yeah, right.
do
Oh,
like
yeah.
marketing for that, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Missed opportunity there.
It's the Cones of Dunshire.
But so, guys, tell me about like some of the backstory regarding the album. So that's the recording process. But what are
Yeah.
some of the themes and songwriting things that you guys talk about on this thing?
Well, I personally, for me, I guess with all the lyrics, I just draw from a lot of life experiences. I know that for this one, I guess there's a lot more subject matter, like revolving around a lot of the anxiety and depression I was going through at the time. But
Oh, way to go,
Way
bro!
to go.
Way to break the cool the moment.
wow.
I will remove myself from the room.
I will abdicate my position.
But anyway, depression. Yeah. Keep going. Please continue.
Sadness. But all the songs kind of cover a range of things. So, like the single "Cloak and Claw" is basically about people that will come into your life and be there for a temporary amount of time, so long as it suits them. But they're very willing to step away just at the drop of a hat.
Right.
Runner is about, I guess I sort of wrote it basing it off of a romantic experience I had of like somebody like running away from like their issues and stuff.
I've heard of romantic relationships before. What are
Yeah.
those like?
Oh,
I've had
not
some good
fun.
luck.
Strange,
Please-
mysterious beast.
Please see Runner off of our new album.
Yeah.
It'll give you all the info you need to know.
about romance
Romance.
gone astray.
Gotcha.
And then why am I having trouble with this?
Color
Color
Restored.
Restored. Color Restored and Idle Hands are more specifically about, I guess, like the anxiety and depression. Color Restored is about believing in another side to everything. Hence the theme of the EP being Color Restored, because like basically like reinfusing like the goodness into your life through color, so you see everything like vibrantly again.
Right.
And then Idle Hands is basically just me recounting like waking up every day and kind of like how hard it was just to get through the days. And it was weird because like all like the depression and anxiety hit as I was like starting to like date my current girlfriend, who I'm massively in love with. And it was
Big shout out to
Massively.
girlfriend
Victoria.
Victoria.
But it was really weird and polarizing to have all these negative feelings while also experiencing such good things going on in my life. And it was honestly very like, it was really disturbing.
Right.
So the whole song is just kind of recounting that. And there's nothing really that positive about that song. Honestly, there's
Silver lining, not so much. We really
Yeah.
ended on a down note.
But it bangs.
Yeah, but it bangs.
It slaps hard.
I think it's easily the most heartfelt song that we've ever got to record. So
Fantastic. Yeah, you know, I was going to ask you, and I don't want to get too personal. You can refuse to answer this, but you're telling me that you grew up in a very religious upbringing. Kevin from Summer Youth, but also in Aha Baby Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a brother to me, and I've known him for years and years. And a lot of subject matter of our songs have to do with his kind of also similar upbringing. He grew up in a Pentecostal family. His father was a preacher. Much of his life was church oriented instead of doing a lot of things. So I feel like in many ways Kevin may have felt like he missed out on some stuff or that he was alienated from things. Do you ever feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. I love my family, and at this point we're like on good terms. But there was a really long time where we like weren't. My dad has a master's in divinity from the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary from like in Louisville, and is like an ordained evangelist and is very like balls deep in the church. Like I love him to death. But
One phrase I never thought I'd hear in my life. Right? You're just someone that's just balls deep in the church.
He just is, and for him, I think it definitely means a lot to him because he grew up in a very rough household. Like he had a very abusive father and was raised by a single mother after like he was 11. And I think that basically like was his like saving grace is like finding like God. It kind of gave some solidarity to his life.
Right.
But then he kind of like forced that on everybody else around him.
Right.
And so, when I was younger, you're a kid, so you're formative. You don't have a lot of thoughts of your own, so you just go with what you know.
Sure.
But as I continue to get older, I was also homeschooled, so that was another fun thing. So it was like double isolation.
Yeah, exactly.
Church, homeschool, like this is all you know is just your home
Balls deep
environment.
in church isolation.
Dude, I was balls deep in homeschool.
I randomly we moved to Lexington when I was like turning 12 or something like that. And so I like started going to middle school at like Lexington Christian Academy, which was weird. And my parents were all convinced it was, it was a Christian school. It's going to be a great place, a great environment for him. But it was so traumatizing.
Right.
Just like exiting, being in like this weird bubble at home and like, starting to be a teenager, starting to have a little bit of like thoughts of your own and like a somewhat independence forming, and then getting out there and seeing how all these other people who like claim to have this faith that you do and all this other stuff, but it was done differently, and just the social interaction part of it too. Like I'm massively underdeveloped in that way.
I feel like too, it's always rough. If you like something, it's always good to a certain extent. People are like, well, find people that have like-minded thoughts as you, and if you like basketball, find people that like basketball, or if you're religious, find other people that are religious. The only problem is like you get into these groups and then it becomes a competition, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like, oh, you're religious, so am I, but you're not as religious as me.
It's like an in-group versus out-group kind of thing. Yeah.
I was vegan for 2 years, and the thing is like the vegan scene, like it was cool. I was like, yeah, I want to find like-minded people. We get some, life coaching and have people that are there to just kind of solidify what you're doing. And then you're just like, well, dude, you're not as vegan as I am, bro. All I do is drink water and eat ice.
Yeah.
Ice soup all the time.
Ice soup every day, man. So who knows? But I was just curious if any of those sorts of things ever translate into your songwriting and that sort of thing.
It definitely
Did you learn to sing in church?
No, actually, I actually learned how to sing in choir at LCA, which is probably the only good thing that came out of it, because I thought it was dumb. My mom forced me to take choir and changed my life. Shout out to Miss Kitchell. You literally changed everything for me.
I'm sure Miss Kitchell's listening.
Probably not, but hey, either way, I feel like credit should be given. She just totally flipped my world upside down.
Fantastic. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and I want to play for everybody your new single.
Do it.
Cloak and Claw here, and I love it. Like I said, anything you guys want to say to the listener before we just let this thing rock?
I say yo ho.
Nice.
Nice.
Watch for it.
Catch
I
it.
say yo ho. Catch it and you get a free shirt.
Yeah,
You guys heard it. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this is Artica with Cloak and Claw.
Black fills the sky, and as they feed. The birds are circling. Watch as they feed. The birds are circling. Watch as they feed. The birds are circling. Watch as they feed. The birds are circling. But I, by choice, never wanted to give voice to the possibility that you won't like to see. Or scavenger bed of alternative. There is no way to make amends.
Oh yeah, guys, that was Artica taking you to Toontown there with the Cloak and Claw. Guys, I almost called you Article. That's a hard thing to say when you say Artica really fast. You can laugh at me. It's cool.
Artica. Arf.
Dude, I had a lot going on there. Like we
Was
had
I
such
the
a
only one that thought of Toontown Online?
But yeah, guys, we had a great conversation in the break, man. We're back from the Sword Coast. We've been talking a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and then we were talking about all of our favorite albums. And you're talking about the Paramore album. You're saying how much you loved it, dude. That is a banger record from last year. What was some of your favorite records from last year?
Okay, I have a very strong opinion of last year in music.
Yep.
So last year in music for me was ruled by really that like 80s sound. I mean that's coming back super hard, like you're talking about the Paramore one. There's a band called Chapel from Atlanta, Georgia, and they are incredible. They've got the same like 80s synth pop going on. So Chapel's EP that they released last year is at pretty much the top of my list. Them, Lights' album, Paris's album from last year. Those are like the three of my favorite bands right now. And then a hip hop artist named Amine came out last year with a huge album that was probably my favorite hip hop release of last year. He was so different, so interesting, and I just loved it. So 2017
man.
started weird, but it ended very strong with music for me.
Yeah, I feel that. What about you?
I mean, I've always been all over the place, but like I the Mighty has always been one of my
Yeah.
most favorite post-hardcore bands for sure.
I think you took Luke's.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry about
I'm
that,
going
buddy.
through my Spotify like, oh man, what am I going to say now?
I'm trying to prep and look through my music.
Because I've gone kind of a little bit less heavy here recently in total. And so with this new record, you know, it seems like they kind of went in a different direction. And of course, with our sound and everything, too, in terms of writing and getting down and everything like that, I've been obviously not copy, but you take influence from other artists in your same genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
And their drummer is just dope. I mean, he's got so many cool little tricks and fills, and he leads into hits very well. And so that last record was just really cool because it was really different from a lot of their stuff that they were putting out.
I want to cool brag you here in a bit because I the Mighty, we were on Warped Tour with them in 2014.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they were one of the bands they were one of the bands that like we were really cool with, and their merch tent that year they had like a double tent, and like so they had like their merch on one spot, and then on the second spot was just a lounge that had like a carpet and everything, and like bean bags and like all this like ambiance
Sounds like them, yeah.
and everything. But yeah, those dudes are absolutely awesome. So you know what? That you like them so much, I might tag them here in this podcast, see if they want to give it a listen.
Well,
Hell yeah.
thickness. That would be dope.
Thickness,
Those
big
are the-
shout out, guys.
And I know I just said that I was getting out of heavy music, but Wage War's new album last year was like amazing. It got me back into metalcore for sure. That stuff was awesome.
Don't
Gotcha.
you mean post metalcore?
Post Malone, yeah. I'm coining
Post Malone.
that. I'm coining that.
Post Malone. You know, when I first saw Post Malone, I laughed my ass off. Like literally, this is a true story. I heard White Iverson,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, it was White Iverson.
yeah. So I heard that song maybe 2 years ago, and I was really into like Dirt Nasty, Mickey Avalon, this kind of like joke.
Hell
Three
yeah.
hip-hop.
Loco, dude.
Three
Right,
Loco,
Three Loco.
exactly. And so like I
We
was like
are
really.
farmers.
My friend Derek Allen made that beat.
Yeah?
And he did this podcast too. So
Oh my
shout out
gosh.
to that. But yeah, so like I thought Post Malone was just like this like kind of a joke, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Stitches, Post Malone,
Right.
like all
Dude,
this sort of
yeah.
stuff. And so I
Riff
laughed my ass off and I was like, man, this song is hilarious. And And then, like, the more I listened to it, I was like, man, this song is really good.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Yeah.
next thing I know, people are like, Post Malone is bae. Post Malone is the greatest thing that's ever been on the fucking face of the earth. And I'm like, damn, is it all like that? I watched him on an episode of Hot Ones, and I was like, this guy's so charming and likable.
Yeah.
That was a good interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to Post Malone. I know you're probably listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're not balling or saucing on someone.
On you.
He's the homie. I mean, he's into this genre of music too. You see all those videos of him with
Jared Dines and
Yeah.
other people just like hanging out.
Doing that Asking Alexandria cover from
Yeah.
forever ago.
yeah.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Well, Brad took my Eye of the Mighty obsession.
Damn it.
From
Stole it.
But last year I really got obsessed with the Dance Gavin Dance Mothership album.
Oh yeah.
So good.
I
Yeah,
totally
that-
forgot about them. I didn't even know they had an album.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was
Oh,
on
really?
repeat
Have you not listened to it?
constantly
Oh,
last
no.
year.
Oh, dude, it's super good.
Check
And-
that out.
And then this other band called the Floozies released an album called Funk Jesus, and they're kind of like an electronic jazz fusion thing.
Never would have guessed. I would have thought they would be country and western.
Right?
Bro country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Garion?
Well, let's see.
man. Are you looking for him for answers?
Stop looking at me.
No.
Podcasts are not a visual thing. Close your eyes.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Honest to God, for me, I recently got like heavy into like Black Bear.
Oh, yeah.
So Black Bear had 2 albums come out last year and a side project with Mike Posner, and all 3 of those like made my list.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
he's been heavy on rotation for me.
Black Bear is somebody I only know about on Twitter.
Yeah.
Don't even
Okay.
know his music. Don't know anything about him, but people retweet him so much.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, Black Bear, cool.
Yes.
I would.
I'll have to give it
I
that
would
one.
definitely say give it a bump.
will definitely
it's
do
good
that.
stuff. And then it's kind of funny because I always historically have listened to pretty heavy music too, but over the past year or so, I've kind of seen myself move away from it. So there was that, and then a lot like Birds released their like
R.I.P.
I guess last
Yeah.
album now, and that was a super chill experience.
So good.
So I
That band
R.I.P.
is fantastic too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They were
Was.
on Warped Tour 2K14 also, so I got
Was.
a chance to hang out with them. So, oh
Was.
man,
Please
Like
stop.
their last show is coming up, right? Like they said that their last one, and they're from like San Francisco, I think. They're playing their last show like in April. It's their,
we got to go.
I know.
I
Let's
mean,
go.
I say we just go right now.
Road tripping in the van.
Carpool.
Yeah.
Cool. We can do it.
in the
Exactly.
Honda.
With the Odyssey.
But yeah, well, guys, this is what I really want to talk about now too. That we've talked about some of our favorite releases of last year. I want to talk about one of my favorite releases of this year. That is going to be Color Restored by Artica here, and you got a CD release show, an album release. I shouldn't say CD because I
Yeah,
mean,
you know.
it'll probably come out on what forms will it be out on? Will it be out on CD?
Yeah. We have CDs for it. We got CDs. We got CDs.
that.
No, I'm joking.
Oh my God, you took that in the wrong direction.
we got CDs. They'll be on iTunes, on Spotify, on every major thing.
Schmapple music and
The
such.
best thing is that for this album release show on Friday, every ticket comes with a free copy of the EP.
Genius.
So if you're there, you're helping our first week sales.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Genius. We did that on ours. I read an article about 10 years ago that Prince did that, and I was like, I have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah.
I was like, look at me.
Yeah.
Sold
absolutely.
1,000 copies in a day.
Yeah.
Great. So,
But
this is-
we're really excited for it. It's 4 songs, so it's got a runtime of like 16 minutes, I think,
Something
in
like that,
total.
yeah.
So it's not, if that, probably more like 15. But it's something that we just really want to share with as many people as possible, and especially in Louisville at this show that's this community that's always treated us so well. We're like, everyone that comes, everyone gets an EP.
yeah, dude.
It's awesome.
That's going to be awesome. It's going to be a jam-packed show. I
It
touched
really
on
is.
it earlier, but we've got Summer Youth.
Mm-hmm.
That have done the Sean vs. Wild podcast. If you haven't checked it
Their
out
new
yet,
singles they're coming out with too are
So
just
good.
slaying.
The new
every
video,
time.
awesome.
Yes.
we've got Light Treasons also.
Yes.
That have done the Sean vs. Wild podcast. If you haven't heard them, check that episode out.
Their Fortunes album is timeless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Clay from Light Treasons. I always tell people,
Yeah.
guys, if you're listening to the podcast, you're tired of me telling people this, but Clay just lives right down the street. He's a neighbor of mine. We've got Floods.
Oh yes.
I'm so excited.
I
to
heard
see
them
Floods.
yesterday for the first time. So good.
Yeah.
Literally my favorite band.
Super awesome. And I'm excited to hear their new stuff. I'm excited to just reconnect. Because they did the podcast too, believe it or not. And then there's Gallifrey Falls, who didn't return my calls for the podcast, guys. So I'm calling you out, tough guys.
The show could be sponsored by the Sean versus Wild podcast.
That's what I'm saying,
but,
dude.
Or one band short.
One band short. But yeah, Gallifrey Falls, they're awesome. I caught them last summer, so I'm excited. And then you guys are going to be killing it. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? This is a pretty loaded show.
Yeah, we're super excited. We're pulling out.
Did you book this one?
Yeah, I did. I
nailed it.
I personally went through and thought of like what are my favorite bands from around here who kills it, who works hard.
Right.
And I reached out to all the bands and the only band that I didn't get that I really wanted was Greyhaven, but they had this monster of a tour that was like conveniently in the way of our EP release, and I was like, oh yeah,
Weird.
that's cool. You guys can do that. That's cool.
I guess you could go on your little tour with Norma Jean if you want to.
You can do that, but we're really like trying to pull out all the stops. We have this we have an awesome light show that we're bringing, completely synced up to our music, to our set list and everything. So it'll. We tried it out a little bit last night in Nashville, and it seemed to work pretty well.
It was pretty
It
dope.
was pretty awesome.
Where'd you guys play in Nashville?
We played
Rocket Town.
Rocket Town.
That's the jam. Which room did you play in?
So we played in the White Building.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It was awesome.
Last time I played there, I played a small little room that was like all glass. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
the
office
flex
Yeah,
room,
we
yeah.
played that.
That's
They
the
stopped
flex room.
doing shows in that room.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad for, actually.
we played the basement way back in the day. Like, I played Rocktown maybe in 2004, and they had like a basement venue.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have that glass room, the big stage, of course, and then, you said the White Building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place is really cool to go see a show at, too.
Yeah, love
Yeah.
it. I wish I lived in Nashville.
I wish
just
we
for
had
that
a Rocket
venue.
Town
Yes.
like somewhere here, like
know.
Louisville, Lexington.
I know.
That's my dream. That's what I'm trying to make. That's what I'm trying to. If anyone's out there wanting to do that
Invest.
with me,
You want to
Throw some money real quick.
I have
What's
some
up?
ideas. You want to finance some things?
yeah, I
You
got
want to
some.
throw your money down a rat hole?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the person to do it. I'll set fire to your money.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's going to be so. The show Friday is at Diamonds.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give everybody the deets on that, just so we can solidify.
Yeah, absolutely. So the show at Friday, you've already said the lineup, super stacked. Doors are open at 7. It's all ages, which is awesome for a Diamond show.
Yes, very awesome.
Yeah, I mean couldn't ask for anything better. Diamonds is an incredible venue, and it's even better when it's all ages and everyone can get in there. It's at 7. It'll be a fun time. Every ticket, every person that walks through the door personally gets handed an EP from us. All the bands will have merch for sale. It's gonna be a great time.
Perfect.
I'm
What's
so
the
excited.
damage? How much is a ticket?
How much? Oh yeah, it's $10. Yeah,
$10.
$10 in advance. I think it's 12 at the door.
Yeah, it's 12 at the door.
Yeah.
And that's a deal for that lineup
Oh.
and a record
And a diamond.
Yeah.
and the time of your freaking life.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
what
it's
can you ask for?
it's gonna be sick.
What more can you ask for?
And yeah, also too, I wanted to mention. So Friday, the album release show in Louisville, but the fun doesn't stop there. What do you guys
Yeah.
got lined up after Friday?
Yeah, so Saturday we're going to Pittsburgh. We're playing a place called the Black Forge Coffee House, which all of our homies have rolled through, and apparently it's like an incredible place. And my friend is the in-house talent buyer for up there. His name's Evan. Shout out to Evan Tucarello. He's what's up. But we play there on Saturday. Super excited to get to Pittsburgh for the first time. Then we wrap that weekend up on Sunday, March 18th at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. And the Hoosier Dome has always been super great to us.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
That is a hell of a venue as well. Talking about Rocket Town.
Sure.
Awesome venue. Hoosier Dome, awesome venue.
What I love about the Hoosier Dome. Okay, so the Hoosier Dome was the name of
Yeah, a bigger,
like
the
an
stadium.
actual
whatever.
stadium.
Yeah, I was so confused the first time I heard it. I was like, "What?"
Right, exactly. So it was like actually the name of a legit stadium,
Yeah.
place. And they're like, "Dude, we're playing the Hoosier Dome." I was like, "Holy shit, you guys are playing the Hoosier
Yeah.
Dome?" And
Yeah,
then
first time I googled it, I was like,
Oh,
"Dad."
and it's like, so like, yeah, I play the Hoosier Dome, but then I get there and it's like, oh, it holds 70 people.
Yeah.
Not the same Hoosier Dome, but still
not the same.
awesome.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of shows though. Those small packed in shows and everything.
Yes.
Get everybody
Love
in
it.
there. A lot of energy.
Was it last
Yeah.
time we played the Hoosier Dome that the dude was hanging from the ceiling? Like,
Yeah.
jumping on the
Somebody got
rafters?
it.
I think pretty much every time we've been there, people are like crawling all over the ceiling and
Yeah.
stuff, and it was.
I mean,
cool.
not like crawling, literally, not like Grudge style.
Right.
No.
Turns back.
You know what I mean. But it was cool because last time we were there, a kid came up to us and was like, "This is the first rock show I've ever been to,"
Nice.
and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
us?
I'm so glad that I could be there for
It's
you.
insane."
It's crazy we could be that for
Yeah,
for somebody.
talk about an honor.
Yeah. I'm glad that we were able. Hopefully, you'll come back for another one.
Right?
Hopefully, it's not one of those things like this is my first rock show ever and my last.
One and done.
And I'm traumatized now.
Right. But yeah, that'll be a jam-packed weekend there.
Yeah, it
so,
really
guys,
will.
if you like what you hear on Friday, if you like what you hear on Friday, fucking go up to Indianapolis, bro.
Yeah.
Drive that hour and a
Yeah.
half, 2 hours north. Go
Yeah.
catch it in Indianapolis
If you're
too.
here in southern Indiana, it's even closer.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I was just up there the other day. I went and saw Poppy. Do you guys know?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I know exactly who Poppy is.
Yeah. If you have, I know you.
Oh wait, no,
Yeah.
I've seen a video of her on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's surreal. What was that like for you seeing her?
honestly, it was. I mentioned this on the cast before.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
weird, but it's like they played. So doors open at 7, and from 7 to 8 they played Toto by Africa over
Nice.
the speaker for 1 hour straight. Like they just looped it over and over and over.
My kind of venue.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is part of their shtick. So they played Toto by. They played Africa by
Yeah.
Toto for an hour straight, and then at 8 o'clock. They had they turned their LED screens on, and they basically had like a DJ come out. They're Poppy's DJ
Yeah.
guy, Titanic Sinclair, the guy that does everything for her.
What a name.
Yeah, he comes out, presses a button, and then they just do it and just leaves the stage. And for an hour plus, you just hear a mashup of songs to the LED screen, and then she comes out, plays for 30 minutes, and leaves.
That's next level.
That's incredible.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get on that level.
Okay, just educate me. I've literally seen a single video of her on Facebook, and it was something from like Rhett and Link's Good
Yeah.
Mythical Morning doing like weird impersonations. What does
Yeah.
she do?
No, that's pretty much it.
I mean, dude, she's
Does
just
she just sing?
she
like
just
that?
talks.
or talk?
Yeah.
She just talks in front of a white background and says some of the most fucked up shit, and
Yeah.
then now she has a singing career.
yeah.
So for years she just did that. So she has like 300 videos of her just talking
and making you uncomfortable.
and making
so
you uncomfortable for 300 videos, and then oddly enough she's like, "Hey, I got a singing career now." And talking about albums of 2017, that album Poppy Computer, fantastic. If you
Really?
haven't, check
I've
it
heard
out.
one of the songs off of it, and I was like, "This is so weird. It's so cool."
Yeah.
I got to hear the whole thing.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I think, as we're winding down here, we're talking all about Poppy. Yeah, anyway, so that show, by the way, she only played for 30 minutes, and then she left. And had I paid more than $15, I would have been pissed. Because, like, dude,
Fair.
30 minutes, this is lame. You could have had an opening band at least. You could have
Right.
had a DJ that was actually on the stage at least. But the 30 minutes she was on stage, fantastic. So
Right.
I would recommend checking it out. Just come late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't wait.
Like 2 hours into
Yeah,
it. And then
come about 2 hours late, and you're gonna have a great time.
Nice.
So yeah, but guys, now that we're just getting down to the end of the old cast here, I figured where can everyone find you guys online on the World Wide Web?
Ooh, boy. Well, social media, I guess, facebook.com/ArticaBandKY. At Instagram, it's just at ArticaBand. Twitter, at ArticaBandKY.
Gotcha,
Because
So inconsistent.
I know, well,
dude. That's the thing though. Like, so I'm Sean versus Wild on everything, but then like Instagram, I'm Sean versus Wild podcast.
Yeah. Instagram's weird.
Yeah,
ain't it though? We could actually get just Artica Band on Instagram, whereas like on Twitter and Facebook, we couldn't just put Artica
Right.
Band. I was like, it seems more official.
we need
that
to
way, but
find who
whatever.
has Artica Band
and terrorize
pay them for it.
No,
about Pennsylvania.
those are very different things. You're like, I will compensate you. I will torment you.
I will send you sternly worded emails. Your inbox will never be the same.
The pen is mightier than the soul.
No, that's Dwan.
Give us the name, or you're gonna get the same picture of Jeff Goldblum for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's got to be something weird. Like you're
I'll
throwing
send him
sticks
Steve
of
Harvey's
butter.
nipples.
Yeah, there you go. Steve Harvey's nipples.
My
Scabby.
spirit animal.
Do you ever watch Family Feud anymore?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always on at Taco Tico.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. My favorite restaurant on earth is a place called Taco Tico over in the south end of Louisville.
Yeah.
And
That's your favorite restaurant on earth?
other than 5 Point Pizza in Nashville.
Okay, gotcha.
Shout out to that.
Shout out to 5 Point Pizza
Yeah.
in Nashville.
Give us free food, please.
But no, every time we go to Taco Tico, like that used to be a super normal thing for us in high school. We'd go to Luke and I would go to Taco Tico right by my parents' house, and it's always Family Feud. It's always like the Game Show Network,
Right.
And the Game Show Network is 90% Steve Harvey, so it's like always there. It's incredible.
The thing is about Family Feud now, like growing up, when I watched it, Ray Combs, RIP, Ray Combs was the host, and then you'd watch the reruns with Richard Dawson, and then, you know, Richard Karn, Al Borland from Home Improvement, hosted it, Louis Anderson hosted it, and then I feel like by the time it got to Steve Harvey, like the contestants, maybe this says something about our culture, but it's like the contestants are just way dumber. And it seems like one family never, like, it's always just like one family answers the question, plays, they fuck it all up, then the other family goes to get a chance to steal, and they either steal or they blow it, and that's just how people get points. Like, they don't win the round.
You just don't lose.
Like, they don't dominate. Yeah, they just don't lose, basically.
Yeah.
And then, do people even win fast money anymore, or whatever that's called at the end?
Probably not.
I think it's more about answering your question as dumb as possible, maybe.
It's more about Steve Harvey's reaction, where he just stares at you for like 3 seconds straight, just like.
My favorite is, they're like, what's, I saw one that was just like, what is something that you would hate to find in your soup? You know, and you might think like hair,
A
bug. This guy just goes,
Naked grandma.
he was like, I'm going to say Scorpion Steve.
I mean, shit, he's right. I wouldn't want a scorpion in my suit.
I mean, yeah, but that's so obscure.
Survey says.
What's something you want to find your
But I
soup?
tell you what, if it dinged, that man would have gotten some life.
Yeah. Guys, let's go around the circle here, clockwise here. Since we're time travelers, we'll go clockwise. Name something that you wouldn't want to find in your soup.
Something I wouldn't want to find in my soup is probably.
But you can't say scorpion hair or bug.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
already
that's
said
fine.
that.
That's
We've
fine.
covered that
I
already.
probably wouldn't want to find the 10-inch suction
Stop.
cup glow in the dark dildo that we own. I would not want to find that thing in my soup.
It's
We
the
share
band's communal dildo.
that we own. We've
Please
installed
clarify on that. Please
No,
clarify.
Leave it
No, no, it's
nebulous.
fine.
Leave it just like that.
it. We've
Come to-
installed it in the van.
Come to a show, ask us about the dildo. If you can find it at Diamonds, we're gonna hide it in Diamonds. We're gonna hide this glow in the dark suction cup dildo
What, a
at
free
Diamonds.
t-shirt or something?
And if you
Yeah.
can find it, then yeah, you
It'll be just like finding the Christmas pickle.
hide the cucumber, hide the zucchini.
That was a game my pastor played with me.
Can we say that?
Oh, we can say it, guys.
No, when we were on tour like a year ago or a year and a half ago with our friends in Illustrator, we decided to play a prank on them towards the end and bought a 10-inch glow in the dark suction cup dildo from Spencer's, and then like while we were driving one day, we were like pulling out of a gas station. I was like, oh, hold on a second, right on the windshield of their car.
Drove away.
Yeah, drove away. So it was incredible, and we've kept it ever since. And it just shows up randomly in spots that you don't expect it. Like, oh, here, let me take my cables out of my bag, and there's a dildo.
Oh,
Yeah, it's-
perfect. What about you, Brad?
I got some messy ass roommates, so this is shouting out to you, Sam Goody. Your socks suck. Do not get in my suit.
You heard it. Sam
Sam
Goody. More like Sam Batty with those socks, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ew.
I'm here for it.
And what about you, Luke?
I would have to say
You didn't think about this?
I know you had plenty of time. I was talking
We had
about a
set up for
10-inch
this.
10-inch glow in the dark suction cup dildo. You could have been
I
thinking
mean,
about your
I
own.
can't top the dildo, so I gotta have something
can't
that's
top the
actually disgusting. So
The
like,
dildo tops you.
I feel like one of the things I would like to never find in my cereal is like
Soup. Yeah, you're changing the game to
Yeah,
soup.
cereal.
Wait,
Hot, not
cereal?
cold,
We said
brother.
soup.
It's soup.
You don't eat cold soup.
It's like the same things. One's hot, one's cold. I would say clip toenails.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Texture.
I'm going to say Scorpion
It's like
Steve.
getting the bay leaf.
Clip toenails, though. Yeah, you're right,
say
man.
toenails, Steve.
I was always grossed out. Speaking again of Nickelodeon, because I'm looking at your hat and now clip toenails. Like, you ever notice, like or you remember, like on All Real Monsters when they would
Yes,
use
I already know.
toenails as currency? I was always grossed out about that. But there's something in the 90s, like there'd be like Nintendo ads and it'd be like just a jar full of toenail clippings and shit. And I'm like, what is this? Who is this for? Because it's not for me. I'll give you
This
that
is very
goddamn
specific
much.
targeting.
Yeah.
It's like the
feel
whole
like there
Grey
was-
Poupon thing in rap music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grey Poupon.
I feel like
And,
there was like a clip in the Amanda Show where she was just clipping her toenails.
Yeah, probably. And then on Drake and Josh too.
True.
Are we going in on the Dan Schneider like foot fetish thing?
I didn't
What?
know about that. Anyway,
Yeah,
what was
there's
your-
like a theory that he like if you like look at all like the Dan Schneider like Nick shows, he has a lot of the girls like show their feet, and he also is like suspected of being a pedophile. So there's like a lot of fun stuff.
So you don't want to find Dan Schneider in your, in your
Final
suit,
answer.
Final
What's my score?
Dan Schneider. Not all that, believe it or not.
Right.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what. This has been an awesome day, and the day is young, bro.
Yeah.
So we still got plenty of time to, hang out, and I'll show you a Poppy video and some other great stuff that will ruin your fucking life.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody, make sure that you check out Artica, Artica Band KY or Artica Band, depending on where you go. I'm gonna have all the links
try
per
'em both.
usual. It's all gonna be in the notes of the podcast. So, dude, I've done all the work for you. You have no excuse. Check out Artica, and then make sure your ass is coming to the show on Friday, 3/16 at Diamonds. $10 is going to give you a badass lineup of bands, but also it's going to get you the EP color restored with your ticket. So, what else do you have going on Friday, dork? You're going to come to this show. That's what's up. So yeah, and
Come party.
come party with and Sean vs. Wild will be there as well.
Basketball will be on, probably. I think that's going on right now.
Yeah, dude,
right?
there'll probably be some cool Pacers highlights or something.
For sports, yeah.
Yeah, Rick Smith's and Reggie Miller era Pacers highlights. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I don't know what we're talking about.
yeah,
I'm so lost.
yeah, there's going to be sports there probably.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day stuff. Wear your
Yeah.
green. You know what I'm saying?
You got to watch the Boondock Saints.
There you go.
Hey.
So yeah, check out Artica. Come to the show, and if you liked this show today, which something tells me that you did because you've made it all the way to the end of it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe Sean vs. Wild on the social media if you haven't already. I have a YouTube channel that could use some subscribers. I don't know how many people like to get their podcasts on YouTube, but I'm trying to build that channel right now. But I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, I'm on Stitcher, I'm on wherever you like to have your podcast. So check it out. And yeah, guys, any final thoughts? Jerry Springer style. You guys have any final thoughts before we go hand in hand into the great beyond?
Oh, man. That sounds wonderful. Is this what
Man,
it's like
fuck
to die?
Korean barbecue.
What?
Oh my God! You just opened up a can of Korean worms. What's going on here?
We got to go.
Why do you not like Korean barbecue?
I don't know. The consistency.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Where did this come from?
Don't worry about it. It was a final thought.
Brad has spoken.
Pretty cool.
All right, guys. Pretty cool. Cool. Awesome, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Sean vs. Wild podcast.
Dramatic.
Wow.
Thank you for listening, D&M.